As a nurse, you spend your life caring for people, but when it becomes your child, it's a game changer. My daughter went through a trauma. When she was 15, she was sexually assaulted. She started having seizures through this trauma. And when I went around, she was having a seizure in the hay. One of our horses was standing over her, like as if he was protecting her. And that's when I realized that the horses were a big impact. The horses mirror how you're feeling. They don't lie.
Finding ways to reduce the stress. Being around animals is absolutely one of those ways, especially a creature like a horse. Hello, and welcome to the Menopause Mindshift Self-Love Podcast, where we are inspiring women in menopause to unleash their inner queen. We are having real, honest conversations women in menopause can relate to. I'm your host, the Menopause Queen, Lisa R. Triggs, certified menopause coach, motivational speaker, and best-selling author. And I want to know, our topic today covers a lot of ground. Sometimes the greatest transformations come from the moments that break us open. In this episode, I'm joined by Sheri Harvey from Hooves of Hope, whose experience as both a nurse and a mother led her to redefine what healing truly looks like and how it is possible in ways we don't always expect. So please help me welcome Sheri. Sheri, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast.
Hi, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Tell me about Who's from Hope.
First and foremost, I'm a mother of twins. They just turned 23 last week, and I'm a registered nurse. I have a background in critical care nursing administration, and I also have had my SANE training, which is sexual assault nurse examiner. Um, we've always had a passion for animals. Probably didn't realize the significance of it until my daughter went through a trauma in high school. When she was 15, she was sexually assaulted at the school. Receiving that phone call wasn't easy. Gets me every time. As a nurse, you spend your life caring for people, but when it becomes your child, it's a game changer. I was fortunate enough to get the resources to support my daughter. We're from Belgium, New Brunswick. We live in a rural community. We were in Bathurst at the time, and I fought very hard to have her graduate with her brother on time, which she succeeded because they're twins. It was very important. Through all this, we discovered Mind at Peace, who we're now partnered with, and they're a multidisciplinary team. They have social workers, they have psychologists, psychiatrists. They're a really wonderful team. Her particular therapist at that time was phenomenal, and she had a master's in sexual assault in the adolescent. Maya had a couple of horses in her backyard at her dad's house, and she started having seizures through this trauma. It triggered things, and there was one particular day that I really realized that the horses were really making a big difference. She had called me. I was about 4 minutes from her dad's to pick her up because she couldn't be alone. Someone had to be with her 24/7. And her father and I changed our work schedules around so that one of us was always, we were separated, but just so that one of us was always with her. And I was about 4 minutes from her dad's place from picking her up. And when I got there, I noticed one of the horses, I knew she was outside. It was Boxing Day. One of the horses was standing by the hay bale, and two of the other horses were standing at the corner of the house. And they didn't normally stand there. So I thought, huh, what the heck? And when I went around, she was having a seizure in the hay. One of our horses was standing over her, like as if he was protecting her. And the other two were saying, hello, please come and get her. And that's when I realized that the horses were a big impact. When she was just 15, she wanted to incorporate horses and um, mental health. She knew that her horses helped heal her along with her therapist. And she created Broken Saddle Riding, Broken Animals Healing Broken People. So we started taking in rescue animals. And after twins graduated from high school, I left and I went to work in California for a little bit during COVID. to try to get the means to create broken saddle riding for her. So we sacrificed for a little bit to develop everything. It was like a for profit at that time. I transitioned to a nonprofit back in November, which developed Hooves of Hope, youth empowerment, and animal rescue. So our mission in life now is to help others.
I appreciate you so much for even sharing this much, you know, um, about the story and how this got started. Um, Through our conversation, you mentioned that there is some research for women in menopause to deal with the horses as well. So, why don't we switch gears a little bit? What is your research showing with women experiencing midlife difficulties, you know, in relation to the horses?
Well, I think with menopause, Mary Peer could speak more on the scientific aspect of that. I know even just personally myself, I thought I was going crazy at one point. The brain fog, the anxiety, the not sleeping. Menopause really makes you think that you're losing your mind at times. Having the calm with being around the horses mirror how you're feeling. They don't lie and they feel what you're feeling. But I just think the sense of calm with the horses really um, helps with that anxiety, and it gives you a little more clarity. It regulates your emotions. They're very magnificent animals.
Totally, that it would, because stress reduction, during that is a huge thing, right? Because our bodies are immensely stressed, right? The hormone fluctuations and that, and then yeah, it causes all these symptoms. So finding ways to reduce the stress and being around animals is absolutely one of those ways, especially a creature like a horse. People who are horse lovers or have horses and that, you can tell they have their way of communicating. Like even with your daughter's case, right? They were watching over her. Like one was watching over her. You said the other one was nearby, like in a place where they're not normally at, as if to almost to say, hello, something's happening here, right? To tell you something. Animals are so intuitive. It's something that you're thinking about branching out into now that you're seeing some cases where it has been beneficial.
So we have primarily Mary Pierre, her client base, like she has a lot of youth. And she has, we work with veterans, and like she has a wide dynamic for her population. And this summer, the goal is to have like lunch and learns. My daughter and I are both equine-assisted learning facilitators. It's kind of parallel with therapy, some of the same activities, but we don't do the counseling part. We leave that to the licensed professionals. This summer, the plan is to start incorporating menopause, like groups of women going through menopause, and educating, and while working with the animals. So that's something new that I plan on working on this summer.
I think it's a fantastic idea. But you mentioned you primarily work with veterans, so men and
Oh,
women.
yes, sorry. She works with veterans, both men and women, indigenous communities. We work with youth, families.
Because the reason I'm pinpointing veterans because the women in particular would probably already be of age if a veteran. Um, I know not always, but if they had, a life career and now they're retired and so forth, they would be the right age to be able to take advantage of a program like this. Now, I know that you primarily work with, teens and youth and so forth, but I think, like you say, there is big opportunity here to be able to expand that because we women are looking for alternative things, right? Or we're just looking for more, right? We're looking for as much education, as many options, that there are out there. And what a wonderful way, I think, to be able to heal and learn and communicate, you know, with the horses. I think there's a real potential here to do a lot of really good for a lot of people.
And originally it was broken animals healing broken people, but I'd like to believe that the broken people are now evolving, you know? I don't think we're have the ability to go forward in a positive way. We're also going to offer some yoga this summer, both on the beach. I live across the road from the beach. So both on the beach and um, I have a pen with goats and a couple of sheep, and I currently have a 2 week old bottle baby, um, a baby doll sheep, and our llamas. So we'll start offering yoga with the goats and the llamas. Think that also will also help calm people and mental health and those things, you know?
Since you mentioned it for your own journey, let's go sideways a little bit and let's talk about your own journey through menopause, if you don't mind. Whether it's been good, bad, or ugly. First and foremost, let me ask you this. Did you find yourself that being working with the horses and being around the horses helped you at all?
I had a lot of brain fog, and really thought that I thought I was worried even if, is Alzheimer's starting, because it does run in my dad's side. And, if people you've known your whole life and suddenly you forget their names. Like it was very scary. Um, but I think just being around the animals all day, you're just so relaxed and so in tune. They're so in tune with you, but it just, the brain fog goes away. The anxiety goes away, the no hot flashes, when you're like, for me personally, but like just being in nature.
Such a calming effect. I say this too many times. One of the things, for women to do is to help manage their symptoms is, to go for a walk, just being outside, you hear the birds, the sun or whatever, the fresh air. It does something, right? It just calms us. It truly does. Yeah. You're caring for something else as well, you know what I mean? Because there's obviously work involved, right? With having the horses and, mucking out the stalls and all that kind of stuff. But you love it, right? When it's something that you love too, I think that makes a big difference.
When you're passionate about it, it's not work. I would actually prefer. Years ago, I was always dolled up, heels, makeup, always dressed to the nines, and now my commu my community see me going to the store, and they're like, "Oh my, where did
I'm a
she
farm
go?"
girl now. I'm a farm girl now. Yep,
And
yep. I
and I'm
totally get
okay,
it.
I'm comfortable in my own skin,
Good.
you
Good for
know?
you.
I still enjoy to get dressed up and go out, don't get me wrong. Love it. But I'm happy at home. And they always say you should build a life that feels like a vacation, as much as what it's work. I'm happy to be home. And just being in the field, just even if you're cleaning up horse poop in the field, they're just all around you, like, and it's just comforting. You're part of the herd when you're out there with them.
Absolutely. And there's an energy there, isn't there?
Definitely. Yeah,
Right?
it's
When
pretty
you're
special.
yeah, yeah. There's I can remember even going into the stalls when my daughter used to ride when she was a teenager. She's almost 32 now. I would like to horseback riding myself, and did that a bit as well. But going into the stables and being with the horses, um, they're very easy to connect with. They really do bring a sense of calm, you know. Um, so I'm so happy to hear that they also did that for you through your own journey. And because have what your family, have been through. Sometimes I feel like when things happen to our daughters, but it's like it is happening to us as well, right? And whether it has or hasn't. We just feel that on so many different levels, and I'm not, asking you if you'd I know this was a totally different situation with your daughter, but, I remember that's how I felt about it, right? Um, and that was for me to live with, which I did for far too long, before I learned how to let it go, you know? And and part of letting it go was actually seeing her grow up, go to university and succeed in her own life and how she's handling and going through, and getting married now. That gives me a huge sense of pride. And you must feel the same thing because she works with you, right? With
Yes, she
doing
looks
this
after.
with you alongside of you.
Yes, she runs the place, basically.
She's
Uh,
23 now, you said?
she just turned 23 last week, yeah,
Yeah.
and she runs that place, like, there could be one hair misplaced on somebody's back, and she spotted it. They're all her babies, and I'm very, very proud. With the seizures that she had at after she had suffered her trauma, um, her memory's not great. So for her to go to university, she can't retain. So, and we're all cut out for different things. And so anyway, she runs the farm, and we take in a lot of rescue animals, and they just seem to find her. She's really she does a lot of beautiful write-ups on her website, and you would think that they're AI, but they're genuinely not. They're her words. Like, she's really a really great speaker.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share about what you do and or how Hooves of Hope benefits people or anything like that? Anything that you'd want?
First of all, I want to say kudos to all the moms out there because you wear many different hats. And you're very powerful, very strong women. We are partnered with Horses for Mental Health in the US, and May is Mental Health Month. And being part of Horses for Mental Health, last year they had 90 nonprofits join the mission, and this year there's 130. And we were chosen. There, we had to be nonprofit. We had to have all um, our mental health professionals all have to be certified, and we had to have documentation from our provincial vets to prove that our animals are all well taken care of and up to date on everything. And so we were chosen to participate in this mental health month. So it's a promotion, a campaign for the whole month, creating awareness for mental health, and in fact using horses a- like with the benefits of equine psychotherapy. And we're proud to be part of that mission. People like Randy Travis are big ambassadors. Like, it's really special. There's another facility in New Brunswick, and there's a facility in Alberta, and there's two out west and two on the East Coast. So it's really special. It'll be nice to have everyone do something special for mental health, and whether if they want to have a look at our website at Hooves of Hope, give it a like, give it a share. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If we can help you with services, we definitely will do our best. If other people have stories that they'd like to share, they want to talk about, feel free to reach out. We just want to
Yeah.
help others.
Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing all of this
Thank you.
with us. We appreciate you and your story and what you do, and we'll definitely all your contact info will be in the description, all that kind of stuff. If people want to reach out and give you a like, give you a share, contact you if they would need your services or would like to work with you. Yeah. So thank you so much, Sheri Harvey from Who's from Hope. That concludes today's Menopause Mindshift Self Love podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host again, the Menopause Queen, Lisa R. Triggs. As always, please remember to choose self love first. Bye for now.